On this episode of The Mimics Fail, we discuss mouthwashing, bum cleaning, bush trimming, we have a trip to Survivor's Corner, a refresher on Echoes of Wisdom, and we discuss UFO 50.
UFO 50 then. Lewis.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about this game at all?
No.
But on the name alone, if you had to guess what it was, what would you say?
I would say it was about, I guess, space in some aspect.
Okay. Well, in a way, there's some sort of spacey bits to it. Mm-hmm. But what it is it's basically, it's really a compilation of 50 games from an old 80s console that never existed.
Yeah, okay.
Basically. So
is that the concept of what this is?
That's the concept of it. So it's like, you know those shitty old cartridges that you used to go, it contains 150 games. You know, those kind of things. It's like that, but for a console that never existed. So
Love it.
Yeah. It's a brilliant concept, and it is executed to absolute perfection, like right from the start. All the bleeps and bloops to the fact that, so of the 50 games, you've got access to them all right from the beginning. And the first game that you play, because they're kind of laid out chronologically by default, the first game that you play just seems so basic. It's like Spectrum level kind of graphics, and the music is, there's not really any music. Like when you enter a new area, it just goes boom, and then that's it, and it that's the presentation of it. But I'm sure the game itself seems really basic, but then it would be, because it was released in 1982.
Yeah,
you know, in theory. But all of these games are made by, you know, modern, contemporary indie developers. So I think the guy that made Spelunky is the sort of the head who put all these together. But I think the Downwell creator contributed to it as well. And yeah, it's a mixed bag of different genres and styles, but all presented in that style. And you can kind of see throughout the 50 of them how game development developed over that decade. And so obviously the ones towards the end get a bit more complex and a bit more sort of graphically intense. And there's like sequels to games within it as well. So there's it's just really, really smart, really clever. And yeah, mixed bag in terms of, like, there's been a few games I've played, I'm like, I've not got the patience for that. But
what kind of games though? What are those games?
Well, the ones, so there's one that seems like it's an RPG, like God knows how long it will take, but they're like 50 full games. And I do think it's kind of, where that friction is like these old games are hard and obscure, and I think this one really separates the boomers from the zoomers, like in terms of how much tolerance you would have for it. Like I know Max, bless him, tried this and he was really excited about it, but then I think he just ended up getting a refund.
Yeah, very quickly, I think, didn't he?
Yeah. Because and I wasn't surprised at all, and I can certainly see why someone that didn't grow up in that era, why they would just go, well, this is, where's the fun in this? But I've had a great deal of fun. I think I've only played maybe 12 of the games so far. And of those, I mean, probably the best thing to do is just pick out a few sort of standout ones. So there's one called Magic Garden, which is basically, it's a bit like, what's the best way to put it? It's a bit like Snake. Yeah. You remember that old like Nokia 3310 Snake mixed with Pac-Man, I would say. So you are going around picking up picking up pink orbs and avoiding blue orbs, basically. And the more pink ones that you pick up, you know, they all sort of trail behind you. And then you have to drop them off in certain spots to, like, plant them.
So I've Googled it, Ben. I think I can see this game. Is it like a checkerboard?
Yes.
It might change checkerboard.
Yeah.
And the little blobby things turn purple.
Yeah, that's it. So when you...
There's
when
like Goombas walking about.
Yeah, and then the Pac-Man element is I think once you've planted a certain amount, you get a potion, and that potion allows you to eat the baddies, basically. And that's how you rack up your points and stuff and get on the leaderboard. And I played that for a good while. Had my 3-year-old on my lap, kind of watching me play it, and he was loving it, and I was handing the controller to him, because that's the other thing. These games are so simple. They're all like 2-button D-pad only kind of games. So he was shit at it, but he was enjoying it.
This on Steam Deck.
Yeah, so this was on Steam Deck. Although I was playing it, I had it hooked up to the monitor, so I wouldn't let him hold the Steam Deck.
Yes.
His little hands are not quite there yet.
No,
Not quite the size of Max's.
no. Give it a week. And another good one is a game called Adjective, which is
I
an
quite like that
excellent name.
title. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is, I mean, they're not all hybrids, but it's the easiest thing to do, isn't it? Compare it to something we already know. So it's kind of Plants vs Zombies ish, where you've got a team on the left hand side of the screen that's, you know, you're on tracks. It's like five layers or 5 tracks, or maybe more. Maybe it's 10. I don't know. And they've all got different abilities. So and you're basically fighting the team that's on the right hand side and trying to move your guys from track to track so that they can defeat the ones on the right hand side. So it's almost
Sorry, when you go.
No, please.
Can I just say, I'm just idly flicking through the images on Steam, and when you said the name Adjective, I was like, I bet you this is it. And I think it is. Like, one side is like a load of red folk.
Yep.
Other side is
And
a
then
load of blue
blue.
folk.
Yeah.
But like, before you went into your description, I was like, I bet you this is it. It looks like a tactics. That's what I'd imagine.
Well, there you go. Whew. Well done to you.
Just
Back in sleuth mode.
that's it.
And that's a really fun one. That's kind of like, it's got that thing where when you first try a level, it's like, well, this is impossible. They absolutely swarmed me, but then you can figure it out and win, and it's very cool. So I like that. I like a bit of tactics anyway. And there's a few others. Camouflage is like this one where you're a chameleon. So good for us, you know, chameleon,
On brand.
our spirit animal. And you basically change colour to avoid being spotted by, I'm not sure what they are, frogs or something that eats chameleons. And you change colour, and you're trying to collect like 3 things and then escape the level. So, you know, they can't see you when you're blue, and you're, you know, going against a blue background and blah blah blah. And that's quite cool, quite puzzly.
Does it look like they've got ribbons on their head and their hair?
What, the frog things?
Yeah.
Pink. Maybe.
They're like green splodges with pink.
Could be. Could be. But that's the other great thing about that era, is a lot of what you think it is down to your imagination as well.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, is it a frog with a ribbon in its hair? Could well be. Could well be. So that's a cool one. Another cool one is Paint Chase, which is basically top-down. You remember those old school like top-down racing games?
Yes.
It's like that, but you're playing Splatoon effectively.
Oh.
So you leave a trail of coloured paint behind you, and you're driving around this grid against a bunch of enemies that are leaving a different coloured paint,
Right.
and you're trying to knock them out of the way and leave as much, let's say, red ink opposed to their blue ink. And then when the timer runs out, whoever's got the most paint is the winner. Yeah, but it's just little things like that, and I'm looking forward to playing more. There's one called Party House, I think it's called, which I've heard about. I haven't actually played yet, but it's like a deck builder, and it sounds very cool. I think that's like that seems to be the biggest kind of cult hit out of the 50 of them. So I'm looking forward to trying that. And yeah, it's just a cool collection of cool little indie games, which is what we love. So yeah, I think it's...
Is it quite smooth?
Smooth?
Yeah, like gameplay wise. Because when you see it, it's like difficult to imagine it being like butter, because it's like old school.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty frictionless. It's pretty smooth. I think, yeah. In fact, I don't recall seeing any of that. You remember that like slowdown that you used to get in games of this era, where the whole screen, or you've got too many sprites on screen, it would have just crunch to a halt. I don't think there's any of that, which would have been a nice touch. But there's like CRT
People would complain
filters.
about it.
They would. But there's CRT filters and all that stuff, so you can kind of make it look like Balatro or an old school game like that. And
Nice.
I really like it. I think it'll be one of those that I dip in and out of, sit down when I got some time and just try a few more. But yeah, I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, I think it's only on Steam at the moment, or is it on
think so.
Switch as well?
No,
Okay.
I think it's just Steam just now.
I think it'll do really well on Switch when it comes, because I think that's the right audience. It's got a sort of, Nintendo
The
feel to
aged
it.
Switch audience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big recommend for me.
That was
I
good.
don't yeah, it's weird though. It's like obviously we're getting to the time of the year now. We start thinking about game of the year kind of stuff, and it's almost like this is a strange one to try and add to that conversation, because it's great and all the games within it are great. But is it like
It's a
combined?
compilation more than anything, really. Isn't it?
Yeah,
It's not
but then it
one
isn't
game.
because none of it's real. Like it's odd. This is like it's all made up. It's like a concept album sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's just
It's a clever idea, like with that
It's
50
very
games from a
clever.
console that never really, never existed
Yeah.
even.
yeah. No, it's really well executed. So yeah, if that sounds interesting, I recommend checking it out. And Lewis, I think, well, whichever comes first, whether it releases on Switch or you get a Steam Deck, I think you'd like it as well.
Yeah, it looks good. What's there's like one with like two samurais. It looks like Pong.
Don't think I've played that one.
Yeah, that's good.
No idea. But I will report back once
Very
I've
nice.
got stuck into some more. Lovely.
I think you should play I think you should play the RPG to completion.
I don't think that's possible. There is one. There is also one called Pilot Quest, which seems kind of like an RPG, but it's got like a you have to collect a load of resources kind of thing, but it keeps running in the background when you're playing other games, so you can go and check back in on it, and it's like, oh, your blah 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 has created 2,000 gems kind of thing while you were away, which I think is quite cool as well.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like idle games. But yeah, love it. Really cool. Cool game.
It's a cool game.
Cool game. I needed some sort of siren for that.
Yeah.
It's another one.
A cool game collection.
Yeah, exactly. What about, let's just shift gears slightly and check back in on a game we haven't spoken about for a couple of weeks now. And that is Echoes of Wisdom. And just to recap, when last we spoke, I had finished it. Alex was quite far into it. And Lewis, you were, let's say, the least enthusiastic of the three of us. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
Okay. And as of today, where do we all stand? I've still finished it. That's me.
That's not been undone.
Nope, still there. That's permanent. It's like losing your virginity. Alex.
I have finished it. I did finish it. My first ever Zelda game that I have
Let's see.
finished.
Well done. Actually finished one.
Yeah, and I agree kind of very much where I was when we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. It was a good game. I wouldn't quite go to the dynamite like you did, Ben. It was definitely just right. I think as I was getting towards the end, I was probably going a bit more down the way on it rather than up the way. Just particularly just some bits just felt like they were a wee bit too long, and some bits just got a wee bit too repetitive. But it was a very nice little game. It was a good change of pace, a good little experience, good little story. Enjoyed it.
Nice.
Lovely.
But what about you, Lewis?
Well, I was at... What was my ranking? I think I'd had it at pure shite. No?
No, it
I
was the
don't
one
think you
above
actually
that.
ranked it.
Not
I think
quite.
you were not quite.
Not quite. Yeah,
Not
yeah,
quite.
that was it.
Yeah, now it's at pure shite.
No.
No, so after we finished, I picked it back up again, and I had both of you guys just ringing in my head. Get past the first dungeon, do the first couple of dungeons, have a wander, see what you find. You might like an echo that you see, and that's exactly what I did. I went and I had a wander, and I found an echo that I quite liked.
God, that
So,
must be really annoying if that's what your internal monologue sounds like.
Yeah.
Get over there and do that.
That's why I'm an expert at ignoring things. Yeah, so I played it, and I found myself like, right, okay, just to ignore the combat, because the combat's what I had an issue with. Just do what you can, complete some puzzles, have a wee explore, see what you see, and that was it. I was kind of taken by it. I remembered Alex saying something about a water block, and then I was in a rift. That's what you call them. And I was like, I wonder if this is the water block, because it's the water in here is awful blocky. And it was that, and like that's a great echo. That's a great echo. Really, really good. Very
Probably my favourite one. Definitely one of my most used all the way through. But
yeah,
you just became so useful.
I've listened to a couple of other podcasts since we recorded ours, and I'm definitely the outlier. Like, everyone seems to think the water block is the one, and I honestly barely touched it. But I think water block is a bit of a way of cheesing, isn't it? I kind of played hardcore.
Yeah, what did you use?
Yeah.
Like a small table on a tree.
Yeah, basically just a trampoline the whole way. No, I did get a ring that let me jump like twice as high though, and that I never took that off afterwards. That was
God, that was good.
That was cheesing slightly. Sorry, carry on, Lewis.
You need to do it with your starting items, and not a main.
Don't use any buttons.
Yeah,
Just pure telepathy.
exactly. So done a few the dungeons, or whatever you want to call them. I had a quick jaunt back to Hyrule Castle. Done all that shite. I'm just a little bit past that now. So I've not played for a couple of days, but I've been busy. But yeah, it's gone up. It has gone up one rank. I don't think it'll get to Dynamite. It is just right. But it's a cool, you know what it is?
It's a cool game.
I am shocked.
Maybe cool game. We're talking a couple of weeks ago about there's pure shite, just right. No, pure shite, not quite, just right, Dynamite. And I think the top should break convention and be cool game for cool gamers or whatever. It's a cool game.
But we say everything's a cool game.
This will stop us.
Have no scale. But then how else will we describe games that we play? UFO 50 is I don't know.
An enjoyable time.
We've got nothing. We should probably learn some more words, if anything.
We should.
Yeah.
We don't have much vocabulary in Scotland.
No.
That's true. There you go. There's our homework for next episode.
So yeah, enjoying it.
Think you'll
Very
finish
much
it?
So yes, I do.
Where did you say you're at? You've just been to Hyrule Castle.
I've been to Hyrule Castle and done that, and then I went for a wander. I spoke to Dampy. I don't know if he's called Dampy in this. I can't remember.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Did you go back to his house?
His house, and he touched me up. Yep.
So I didn't. I met him, and then he said, "Oh, you should come to my house," and I never did.
Yeah, he asked you to do something. I wasn't up for it.
That happens a lot. Yeah.
Mildly threatening. Yeah, and then I think I've just wandered around. I'm actually struggling to remember, which is good. This is a podcast, right?
Yeah, it is.
Fuck, did I get
Yeah.
it?
Where am I?
Technically.
I
Hey,
think
we're
I've
just three guys chatting that people might be listening into.
Oh yeah, it's not a podcast.
No.
We're in a pub.
Yeah.
We're in a pub. What's that above the bar?
It's funny how we never really talk about the pub that we're in.
No.
You'd think it would come up in conversation more often.
Yeah,
Just stay that over there.
I don't know. We've had a few too many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think I just went for a wander.
So,
I just went. I think I've just wandered about, seeing where I could get to. That's really fucking annoying me.
do you find that
I've sank loads of hours into it though. Just let me say that.
you don't have to justify yourself? We believe you.
I'm trying to.
Well, just on that wandering point, I don't think we spoke about this last time, but you know how you can kind of like break the game and go where you're not supposed to quite easily, thanks to all the echoes and stuff. Did you find that? Are you finding that a bit? It's cool, obviously, but is it because that's the only word? But is it? Do you find it rewarding?
No.
Because
I'm-
you know, like in a Mario game, if you go off the beaten path, you're used to getting some purple coins or a power up or a 1-up, whatever. Here, I'm just like, I've come all this way, I've climbed up to the top of this ledge, and there's nothing here.
And I'm not where I'm supposed to be, not where I need to be. Now I need to get back to where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right, I need to stop doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been showing restraint. I've actually remembered where I've got up to. I've done the Deku
good.
bit.
Oh, okay,
I've done all that.
right. Wow. Okay, that is some progress.
Yes.
Good job.
Considering I was like, I don't know if I'm going to continue.
Yeah, that's good. No, I'm glad you stuck with it. That's respect for that.
Thanks.
It's easy.
Is that the only thing you respect me for?
Yeah, off the top of my head. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
I like your hair. I've always respected your hair. I think you've always had great hair.
Thanks. I'm getting a cut
Thanks
next
for
week before coming down.
Don't shave it all off. It's kind of my thing.
I'll put it in a bag.
We can swap.
Like
Yeah. Swapsies.
You've got a mask. So those listening, Ben has a mask of my face. What you can do is put actual hair clippings I give you onto the top of the mask.
Amazing. Yeah.
I mean, I've got that staring at me right now.
Have you?
It's still attached above my screen.
I don't know where mine is, but I spent a fortune on laminating it as well. So I need to find.
Just so it's white clean. Back to Bukaki. No.
Never again. Oh dear. Any more thoughts on Echoes of Wisdom, you guys?
The one thing I hadn't been to the bit that you were talking about, Ben, that was the kind of heart-wrenching bit, and it was quite heart-wrenching. You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
You'll get there, Lewis. You've not been there yet.
I've not been there yet.
Has he not?
No, I don't think so. No, if he's gone the same route as I did, I don't think so.
Weird.
I've not
'Cause I thought
seen anything heart wrenching.
Yeah, I don't think you have been there yet.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm misremembering the order then. Maybe you're not as far as I thought you were. But still, progress.
Yeah, progress. But I even got a bit more used to the combat because I got some faster echoes.
Right. That's
I was
good.
like, this isn't too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, the stronger they get, the more fun the combat
Yeah.
is. Yeah. It's weird. I don't think we will ever get around to doing like a proper spoiler cast for this game. But There are so many little things I'd like to talk about, and certain echoes, like favourite echoes and stuff like that. Maybe Game of the Year season. Maybe we can come back to that.
Maybe.
That might be the time.
Yes.
Alex, anything else that will be coming up around Game of the Year season that you've been playing?
Probably not. Let's be honest here. I mean, when do I ever play games that are going to come up in Game of the Year season? But I have. I mean, it's probably time to go to Survivors Like Corner because there's been more Survivors Likes. One very good one though, I've probably got a new favourite. So what I've been doing quite a bit of is it's been like Steam Next Fest, and there's been a lot of demos and stuff out, so I've been checking out a few demos. And one that was a bit of a highlight has been Nuclear Gladiators 3000. A bit of an odd name, but it is ultimately a Survivors like. But it's kind of two veteran developers who have come out and made this game, and it's almost like a cross between like 80s Saturday morning TV show with a Survivors like, and it's set in really great art style, good music, good enemies, good, like, it's just really, really good, really stylish, really polished and how it's presented and stuff. And it does it all very well, and it's split into like episodes, so like as you're completing each bit, you're like finishing the first episode, then you're in the next episode, and the next episode to complete like a show, and it's just a slightly different take on it, and very, very well done. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the full game, which I'm not sure, there's no release date or anything for it yet, it's just coming soon. But it's right up there in I think at the moment it's got the potential to hit that top Survivors list.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. It's kind of got I guess all Survivors likes have got this, but like a Smash TV kind of vibe to it. That was one of my favourite games back in the day.
That game.
Oh yeah, just the presentation of it looks quite in line with that.
I missed the name.
Buy that for
I missed the name
$1.
of it.
Nuclear Gladiators.
Nuclear
3000.
Gladiators. Apologies.
Um,
Don't know how I could miss that.
No, it's just cool. It is ultimately a cool game. Like it is the definition of cool game. So I've been playing a bit of that.
So that is that that's early access, right?
It's just a demo just now, so I don't even think it's in early access yet. I think it's just been a demo for Next Fest.
Okay, wish listing
Yes.
as we speak. That looks awesome.
So I played a bit of that. I played a bit more Halls of Torment, which I spoke about a couple of weeks ago as well. Played a lot more Halls of Torment, to be honest. I've really been enjoying that. I've completed a few runs now, unlocked more characters, unlocked more, like there's even more things you can do in terms of, I said about like finding items and sending them up, and then there's more lore and stuff you can find in the levels. There's other bits of it you can unlock, more challenges. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I'm like, oh, this is really good. Really, really good.
And are these both Halls of Torment and Nuclear Gladiators 3000? They both play like Vampire Survivors, so you can just play just with your left hand and then just hit a button now and again.
Well, it depends in terms of how you want.
Snigger at that, Lewis. That was a perfectly reasonable question.
I think.
Can I play this and masturbate at the same time?
Halls of Torment, you absolutely can.
There's a review.
But you can play it how you want, because you can turn auto aim and auto fire on or off, so you can you can be a bit more involved if you want to be. At the moment in the demo of Nuclear Gladiators 3000, it's not quite there in terms of controller support and stuff. It's not even quite on the Steam Deck working yet, so it's still in progress. You can play it, but it's a little bit fiddly, so they're still kind of getting the controller support. But I think once it's all there, it will be, again, fine for that.
So how are you playing it? What are you playing it on? What's your control scheme?
I did have an Xbox controller, so it does work with Xbox controller.
Right.
It's just not quite fully supported yet, but it was a wee bit fiddly. You could stream it to the Steam Decks. I tried to play it like that, but it wasn't great yet.
Okay.
But obviously it's just a demo at the minute.
Yeah, it looks so good. Like,
It's
I really
got
like
huge potential. I think this is one of the ones I think that could really do well.
See, when there's a lot on screen, does it suffer?
No.
Is it not?
Nah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I think
like
people will like this one. It's been a highlight.
Any more shitey Wii games?
No. Yeah.
And that is said with love, by the way. Like,
I've played another game and it's like Pinball Spire. And this is new and it's a bit different. So you basically like it's at its heart, it's a pinball game, but it's almost a pinball roguelike to an extent. Whereas you're trying to work through these levels of a pinball machine, and your ultimate goal is to get like to the next level of the spire, and you're trying to using like pinball controls to get the ball up through to the next room, to the next room, to the next room, and it's almost each room's almost a puzzle to like unlock the route out, and then to get the ball through the route out.
Right.
And you get like different abilities to control the ball, so you can slow it down as it's coming to flipper to try and aim it to come up and things like that. But it's very cool. Like it's just something a wee bit different, and it's just you know how a pinball machine works and pinball mechanics work, but it's all like, well, you need to aim here and like maybe collect 5 things to open the portal, then you need to get right round to get through, but then if you miss it coming down, it'll come down and down and down, and you can end up back at the bottom, and it's all starting again to work your way
I was about to ask that
back
question.
up. So
Yeah, that's cool. So I always find, like, I really like pinball. I like video game pinball as well, like, you know, virtual pinball.
Yeah.
But I either I'm not very good at it, or there's a lot of luck involved in doing what you want to do. So how is it frustrating at all? Like when you can see what you have to do, but it's just I can't get the angle.
I feel you still have a little bit of luck involved, but it seems like because you have those abilities to slow down the ball and then gives you like an aiming line and stuff here, you can. It's a wee bit more in your control, so there's a wee bit more skill to it rather than just luck.
Oh, so you can see there's like a dotted line
Yeah.
that shows so kind of like a peggle kind of thing,
Almost, yeah.
but in reverse. Okay.
I thought when you said slow the ball down, I thought you meant like slow the game. to
Yeah,
give you
almost
time to,
slows
like-
it all. Yeah, almost kind of slows it all the way down.
Like
zooms in
bullet
and gives you a
time
line.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
But does the trajectory of the ball change when you slow down, or does it stay the same?
No, it stays the same.
Okay.
So it it's as if it's slow as you're coming towards the flipper, and then it'll give you the line of where it's going to go as you flip it.
Okay.
Very interesting.
I think you'd like this one, Ben.
Yeah, I think I would. It does raise a kind of interesting question about when do we think we're going to reach saturation point of these like roguelike genre mashup games?
I think we
That we-
have
that we
reached it,
keep
but we're
getting.
still enjoying it. But I think we have
Yeah.
reached that point. Like,
It's almost like I'll be honest with you. My first thought was, oh, great, another one of these pinball roguelike. Like, when does it end, kind of thing. It looks cool, and the fact that it's got the word Spire in it made me think, deck building, and kind of, you know. But I think this looks great, but at the same time, I am starting to get a bit fatigued on the whole idea of, let's play mahjong, but you die. Like, it's just like, I don't know.
it's like, just let me complete the levels and keep going.
Yeah. But they work and they're still fun, so keep them coming, I guess. And you know, same with Survivor likes. We're getting them. Literally, we're telling us about a new one every week at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we'll just keep coming until the wheels fall off.
Well, people now just keep sending me like, you like these games, you want to try this one? I'm like, okay, yeah.
Brilliant. The world's foremost correspondent on Saliva likes.
Saliva likes, that's it.
Brilliant. Oh, speaking of saliva, this is a hell of a segue. I've played a game called Mouthwashing.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah. And that
Tutorial.
is. I need it. No, that is the. For the last few weeks we've sort of spoken about. Like, I've wanted to play a spooky game here and there, and I think a couple of weeks ago I complained that they were just too long and too daunting, and I've only got a certain tolerance for scary stuff. So I was listening to the No Clip Crewcast, and they were talking about mouthwashing. They cover a lot of like indie stuff and mostly Steam stuff, and because I'd never heard of this game prior to listening to that, and yeah, the way they described it, I was like, okay, this could be the horror game for me. So it's basically a first person horror-ish walking sim, I would say, where it's set on like a space freighter that's kind of crashed and, you know, just floating through space. And it's basically the story that unfolds with the 4 or 5 crew members on there. And it's like horror, but, you know, it's not that scary. There's not like jump scares every 5 seconds. It's more
soft
just
horror.
Yeah, exactly. Horror with underwear on, you know, that kind of thing. And it's sort of, which makes it much more tolerable for me. And it's like 2 to 3 hours long as well to get through.
Ideal.
So that's perfect because it's like, okay, I can get through this. It's not that scary, and it's also only short. So even if I am, and there are some creepy sections.
It's very gory.
It's very gory, and the story goes to some pretty dark places, both in what actually happens, but also some of the characters have some real stuff to say, which is, I thought the story was excellent, and the storytelling itself was excellent. I think it's just a good way to present this kind of sort of survival psychological thriller kind of thing. The story is very non-linear, so it jumps around a lot, but by the end of it you're like, right, I know the characters, I know what's going on here, and I'm on board. And I actually couldn't put it down. Like, I really wanted to see it through to the end, so that is saying a lot in itself. Art style, probably I think probably not for everyone. Sort of got that like early 2000s, you know, when stuff stopped looking polygonal.
Yes.
It's
I know
like
exactly
that,
what you mean.
That's that sort of era, like PS2-ish kind of era, I guess.
Yeah.
Which
it reminds me of a couple of what was it, like Killer 13 or something like that? It was on the Wii. Just the weird. Just weird.
Yeah. It's odd and it's, you know, ugly, but the actual art direction and everything kind of adds to the creepiness. And I was quite surprised to feel like, and I was playing it on the Steam Deck in bed. I was just like, I want to finish this. I mean, I am actually enjoying this experience, as fucked up as a lot of it is. It's a good one. And actually, Alex, I think this would be a great VR game if they ever did that as well.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think it would be really good to add just that extra layer of immersion. I think it would work superbly well. So,
I don't
if that
like
ever
scary
happens,
VR games.
yeah, but it's not like proper scary. I would not be recommending it if it was actually scary. Because if it was
True.
actually scary,
We know
I
how
wouldn't
much of a bush you are.
yeah. I thought you said a bush.
No, I was.
A hell of a bush.
What a bush. All about mouthwashing, not so much the trimming.
No. It's like one of the most helpful reviews on Steam. It says, "This feels like a trolley problem, but there's no lever and there is no alternate track. You're simply watching a group of people suffer."
Yeah.
Makes it
good.
like a Saw. Is it a bit like Saw?
Yes, I would say so. Yeah, you're just in this. It's like a sitcom, and it is quite funny at times. But it's like you're in this environment, and there's this fucked up situation, and fucked up things happen. And yeah, gameplay wise, there's not a lot going on. There's some really light puzzling, but yeah, it's all kind of pretty simple. Again, there's a stealthy bit that I'm a bit like, yeah, we could have done without that, really, or this could have been half as long, you know.
Can I just say the stealthy bit? I think I'd done the stealthy bit in Echoes of Wisdom. I was like, this fucking stealthy bit.
Why? I don't understand why it's such a common.
It was annoying.
Is it like it feels like a way to pad out games now?
Yeah, it's
Like, well, this is going to take someone ages because every time they get caught, they have to go back to the beginning. It's like, we don't need it. Just make your game shorter.
So shove your stealth up your arse.
Exactly.
Well said.
Yeah. But this is a short game, regardless of that section. So yeah, I recommend checking it out. And anyone that's got access to our family library, like Alex, I know you probably wouldn't take a punt on this, but I would say if you fancied something, you know, like you get those like nights where you fancy like a little walking sim, don't really have to do much. Set aside 2 or 3 hours and just plough through it start to finish. And I think you'd actually enjoy it as well.
Sounds like one I could play on my holiday.
There you go.
Now my Steam Deck connects up to my Quest, and I can have like my like.
Are you taking both of those items on your holiday?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Don't ever change, Alex.
Well, it's like a portable huge TV, isn't it?
It is. It is. That is good on you. But yeah, I think that's it from me for what I've played.
That's
Anything else
good.
from you guys?
No, this game looks very, very intriguing.
It is very unique, and as I said, not one I've heard many people talk about.
All right. So, the graphic style has, I've just remembered what it reminds me of. It's a slightly more, I know it's kind of cel shaded in parts, slightly more realistic, graphic looking, Just Say No. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
There's a game that came out a couple of years ago called Just Say No, and you just kind of kick about an office and someone asks you, go and bring me a cup of coffee. You just say no, and you just walk around this thing and just say no to everybody.
No.
Anyway, it just reminds me of that.
Okay.
There's a slight vibe there.
I guess presentation-wise, it also kind of reminds me of Sludge Life, like but a less. I think I mentioned that before, and you guys hadn't played it. But for anyone that has, there you go. It's like a less colourful version of that, basically. But yeah, it's a cool one.
Cool.
Shall we play another cool game? The coolest game of all.
Let's play the cool game.
Let's play Guess the Outro.
Ho, 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 ho.
It's that time again.
Wow.
Is that a good one?
That was a very good one.
See, the thing is, I can't hear how that sounds, so I just have to imagine how it sounds. And then I hear it afterwards. But your reaction said that was a good one.
It was.
So you know the deal by now. Tell us, what are we playing? How do we do this? One of you can tell us this time.
There are 10 clues. No, we have 10 questions. We don't know anymore. We have 10 questions to guess a game nominated generally by one of our lovely listeners. You get a clue at the beginning, a clue after question 5, and a clue after question 10, and we need to guess the outro. And that game will be the song that we play to play out the show.
Perfect summary. Thank you very
right?
much,
Yeah.
Alex. Yeah, spot on.
And we're not allowed to just reel off game names.
No. That is right.
See
So-
how we feel.
Yeah.
I always let you win, don't I?
No.
The
Keep
first
telling
clue.
yourself that, pal.
This is another listener submission, and again, I will reveal the listener at the end. This game currently has a 96 on Metacritic.
It's the same kind
That's
of
your
clue we
first
did the
clue.
other week. That's a shite clue.
You always say that about the first clue, but then
Because they're all shite.
they get more
There's
generous.
there's not many games that have got like a 96, though. You're talking like your Marios, your Zeldas, your...
Yeah, so
Red
shut
Dead.
the fuck up, Lewis. Stop your
it's
whinging.
Like, my first question is this a Nintendo game?
Could you...
Oh, here we go. A Nintendo published? Yeah. Well, you think Nintendo publish more than just games they develop, but I don't know if games that Nintendo have developed are published by others, unless it's that. Oh no, I'm talking shit, because there's the Stretchers or something. I'm sure that was Nintendo.
Oh, right.
No, that was published. Ignore me. I don't think they get outside parties to publish their games.
Is that a first party Nintendo game? Is really where we're going here.
So, was it developed by Nintendo? Is that what you're asking me?
I think so.
So he gives us a rubbish clue, and then he's like really making us doubt this question.
No, I mean...
And just answer it.
Why do you ask shit? You complain about my clues. Your questions are shit. So, was this game developed by Nintendo?
Yes.
No.
He meant published.
Well, he should have said that.
I mean, but what kind of game? But
Yeah, I don't know.
so, I mean, I would say that means it's not Mario and it's not Zelda.
Oh, maybe that fucking pish. Oh, we've done Bayonetta, haven't we?
It's not a 96, though. It's
No, you're right there.
more like a 69. maybe,
9.6.
Oh, dearie me. Come on, question 2.
A 96 on Metacritic. So it's... My first thought was like Red Dead Redemption. But all that Ben making us doubt the Nintendo question has made me think... I don't know what to think. Playing a horrible mind game with us.
I know, because now I'm like, what would it be published by Nintendo? Should we just ask that question as well?
Yeah, let's
See if
just
the
ask that
answer to
question.
that is no. But
Yeah.
is it published by Nintendo?
Yes.
That's one question down. A published Nintendo game.
3.
Not
Could it be
developed
like a
by
Metroid
Nintendo.
Prime game or something?
Oh yeah. What's like Dread? Yeah, all this Zero Mission I think was. I don't know if that was Nintendo. This is just Alex and I spitballing here, Ben. He's going to give us a row for mentioning too many games.
No. Talk amongst yourselves.
Fire Emblem Three Houses. I think that was published by the Nintendo. Developed by Intelligent Systems.
I mean, I suppose which other kind of... should we try and nail down the console? Is it a Nintendo... Well,
I think it'll be a Switch game.
right,
I was
we'll
thinking
ask.
yeah, Ben, is it a Switch game?
No.
Oh, fuck.
No.
Did I say Ben? I meant to say Alex.
As
Yeah, I
many
think it's a
questions
Switch
as
game.
that.
3, I think. That 3?
Shall we try it?
96, so like you're talking Mario 64, maybe? Loads of other stuff.
Well, what
sure.
else? Well, what else? Was it a Nintendo 64 game?
Question 4 you're on.
So was it a Nintendo 64 game?
Yes.
Right, so Nintendo published games in 64 that weren't developed by Nintendo. So who are you kind of Banjo-Kazooie? So your Rares.
Oh, yes.
So you got Banjo-Kazooie, you've got what, Donkey Kong?
It's not going to be
Is
that. The GoldenEye. Donkey
GoldenEye.
Kong 64 was Pan, was it not?
GoldenEye. GoldenEye was really highly rated.
Yeah. Superman 64.
How could you narrow it down? Like,
We could ask if it's a movie tie-in, but then I would just get rid of GoldenEye. Would say,
ask it. Is there a movie tie-in?
Yes.
Oh, here we go. So it could be.
I think
That's
we should
quite
just guess. I think
You
what else is
are-
it going to be?
Do you want your next clue?
No, I think we should guess.
You got it?
Yeah.
Do you sure want to go for that? Because remember, we'll lose if it's wrong. What other movie tie-ins were there on the 64?
Published by Nintendo? None.
Do you want the clue?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yes, okay, give us a clue.
Okay. There's no shame in taking another clue. This is the third best-selling game on the N64.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Is it GoldenEye?
Yes, it's GoldenEye. Well done. Oh, great little.
Easy.
Do 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 do.
That was easy. Well, good whittling down. Your first two questions really helped there, didn't they? Was it developed by Nintendo? Was it published by Nintendo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you set yourself up for success there. And then
Yeah, I think
was
if
it
we'd
an
asked-
N64 game, you pulled that out of the bag. Touch of luck, but you know.
Yeah.
I think if we'd gone with it, is it published by Nintendo first? We would never have asked
If
developed
it
by.
was developed by, yeah.
So I should have just
Shut up, yeah.
Yep, just answered the question with bollocks.
Exactly.
Is it a Nintendo game?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and also when you said, is it a Switch game? Obviously, it's on
kind of
NSO,
is.
It's in it. So, yeah.
but it's not like a Switch game, is it? So
No.
I said no to that one. Your final clue would have been slappers only.
Yes, that was a good
And that
one.
would
Got it
have-
from there, yeah.
Absolutely. And the track we're going to use is an absolute slapper, and this was suggested by Tyler.
Tyler.
So thank you, Tyler. Amazing choice. And the song we're going to use is the pause theme music. The watch theme music from the pause screen, basically.
It's a great
So good. It's so good. And when I was like researching it, Grant Kirkhope made the high quality version of it available recently.
Really?
So like the uncompressed, because obviously for the N64 they had to, they didn't have much memory to play with, so they used a bunch of compressed instruments and stuff. So listening to the uncompressed version, it sounds like a new song. Like it sounds like something that could have been released like today. It's really good. It's a really good tune. So excellent choice, Tyler.
Beautiful stuff.
Shame the game hasn't held up quite as well
It
as the
hasn't.
soundtrack.
It still plays okay. I think it plays better on the Xbox.
Oh, I can imagine. Is that got twin stick control on the Xbox version?
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
Okay, so that in itself
Yeah.
would be.
But like, it's off topic, but like, I'm playing Time Splitters 2 on the Xbox, and it was impossible
Yeah.
because it was old school. Like you pushed forward on the stick, and that you aim down the way, or
Yeah.
you try, and then you move the right hand stick, and you start strafing. Yeah, it was. How we managed that back in the day, I don't know.
How did we ever manage without dual analog sticks? Crazy. In 3D games, anyway. Madness. But yeah, great song. Thank you, Tyler. Excellent choice.
It's
so
good.
this is, another Grant Kirkhope, who, friend of mine.
Legend.
Yes.
Met him at EGX. Shout out, Grant, if you're listening. Return my calls. Let's collab. But yeah, this is an excellent song from GoldenEye.